Hi everyone, welcome back to Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 210 and today's topic is official fight song. So in America and also in Canadian sports, in American and Canadian sports, there are many fight songs. And basically a fight song is a song that is sung to cheer on their team. I guess it's used more often or more commonly in America, but the use of fight songs is commonplace around the world. So basically, it's a song associated with a team. There are several official fight songs of the Korean national soccer team, of course, of the supporters club, the Red Devils, as we talked about yesterday, our previous lesson. One of them happens to be OPIc in Korea, right? And there are many more that people like to sing as they cheer for their team. So let's talk about fight songs today. All right, here we go with today's actual talk conversation.
Kelly, you know that I'm a fervent football fan, right? And I wanted to ask, are you ready to get behind Korea with your chanting, your football chants?
My chants?
Do you know any?
No, I don't actually.
No, okay, here's a quick lesson. This is the most common one that Korean people use. Okay, it's very simple as well. It's only got like 5 words in it. 대한민국. You can get that rhythm, right?
Oh, I can. 대한민국. What's it mean?
짜잔짜잔. It's basically saying, go on Korea. And it's just what everyone sings in unison.
Okay, shall we
give it a try?
Okay, ready?
대한민국. Yeah, and you just repeat that again and again and again.
That's actually kind of fun. You know what I've noticed? I think I have seen those chants. They start quiet and they get louder. And
everyone
louder,
joins
and
in.
Louder and louder and louder.
And I'm sure it gives the players extra energy.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
How many of those are there?
There's lots, not just here in Korea. But what I've found is that Korean fans are the best organized when it comes to chanting and getting behind their team.
Oh, I believe that.
Like they're all singing. It sounds like it's just one person with a gigantic, deep voice.
So I will impress a lot of people if it's sort of out of the blue and I stand up and 대한민국.
You initiate it, Kelly, and people will be really impressed for sure. I mean, they do have team songs as well, sung by pop stars and sometimes players, but these are the chants of the people.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of nice when something comes from a fan, right?
Yeah.
That comes from the heart.
Exactly, and you're really getting behind them. It's really visceral, and you just feel macho and, I don't know, feminine as well at the same time.
Well, you've just started something. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah, we're going to get behind the team.
Now, can you believe they actually sang for us or did the fight songs for us together? That was kind of cute. So that was a conversation between Peter and Kelly, and of course they were talking about the official fight song of the supporters club, the Red Devils in Korea. So here we go. Let's take a look at the conversation. First of all, Peter says, Kelly, you know that I'm a fervent football fan, right? Now, fervent could be a new word, a very unfamiliar word. Now, fervent, this word reminds me of the word fever for some reason. Okay, fever, fervent. They're similar in some way, but basically, fervent means having or showing intense passion for something. So it can also mean to have an intense passion, spirit, or feeling about something, okay? So that would be fervent. I'm a fervent football fan, right? And then he says, and I wanted to ask, are you ready to get behind Korea with your football chants? Do you know any? Here's a question. Are you ready to get behind Korea? Get behind something or someone means to encourage someone or encourage something, to do well. So you can get behind someone or something to encourage them to do well or to cheer them on, for example. Okay? So he says, are you ready to get behind Korea? Cheer for them, give them that energy that you have. And then he says, do you know any? Do you know any meaning any official fight songs? Okay, let's move on. She says, no, I don't actually. So she's not really aware of any official fight songs of Korea for the Korean national soccer team. Well, he says, okay, here is a quick lesson. Here's a lesson and I'll make it quick. That's why he says, here is a quick lesson. This is the most common one that Korean people use. Okay, it's very simple as well. All right, now Kelly's ready for it. So she says, okay, here we go with what Peter says. Peter says, it's only got, or it only has, like 5 words in it. Like is used here because he's saying approximately, roughly, about 5 words. And he says, 대한민국, and they clap together. Clap, 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 clap. And then he says, you can get that rhythm, right? Rhythm is what? I'm sure you all know what that is. Rhythm. It's usually a repeated or a regular pattern of words or even sounds. So we're saying 대한민국, 짝짝, 짝짝짝. Okay, and they clap together. So she says, yeah, I can. 대한민국, there she goes. And then she asks, what's it mean? Okay, now this is not a proper question, but in conversation you can say, what's it mean? What's it mean? She's basically asking, what does it mean? What does that mean? Making it very brief and short and informal, very casual. She says, what's it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? What's it mean? Okay, so simply she says, okay, I got it, 대한민국, but what does it mean? Let's find out. Here we go. Peter says it's basically saying, go Korea. Meaning, it basically means go Korea. And it's just what everyone sings in unison. That is our pattern as well. In unison means at the same time. Okay, in unison. If something is done in unison, you are saying that it is done at the same time. So, it's just what everyone sings at the same time, all together. It's what everyone sings in unison. And it says, give it a try. Hey, try it yourself. And then she says, okay, shall we try it together? Guess she was a bit shy. All right, okay, ready? And there they go. 대한민국 together shouting and they clap together. Okay, moving on. He says, yeah, and you just repeat that again and again and again. What's the point of repeating the word again 3 times here? Okay, often when we just speak, you can say, well, you just repeat. You repeat it over and over and over again. You repeat it again and again and again. You can just say, just repeat it. But to make it, I guess, to stress that you really repeat it several times, you can say, repeat that or repeat it again and again and again and again. And you can go on, okay? He's just stressing that you say the thing or do the same thing over and over and over again, many, many times. And then she says, that's actually kind of fun. You know what I've noticed? She says, I think I have seen those chants. Okay, so here she says she has seen those chants. You may wonder, how could you see a chant? Does she mean she saw the chant in a book, in a magazine, in the paper? Well, she's basically saying that she has seen a lot of people doing the chant or chanting, singing in unison. They start quiet, they meaning people. They start quiet, meaning they start singing the chant very quietly, and then they get louder and louder. See, once again, we had again and again here, repeated, and she says louder and louder. And she goes on, stressing that it really gets louder and louder and louder, okay? This is once again a way of stressing something, okay? Moving on. And then Peter says, everyone joins in. Everyone joins in, meaning one person after another. Okay, one person may join the group and do the chant together, and then another person joins in. So he's saying more and more people come together to sing the song together. They join in, they do it together. And I'm sure it gives the players extra energy. Okay, it gives the players extra energy. We're talking about the chants and the fight songs. They give the players energy. And then she says, yeah, that's kind of cool. Thank you. How many of those are there? Now we are talking about official fight songs. Moving on. Okay, he says there's lots. There are lots of them, but he says there is lots. There's lots. Not just here in Korea. So not only in Korea, but what I found is that Korean fans are the best organized. Yes, they sure are. When it comes to chanting and getting behind their team. Get behind, we went over this, to encourage, to cheer for, to support. And he says, it sounds like it's just one person with a gigantic, deep voice. It sure is. When people get together and they get behind the team and do these chants together, sing these fight songs together in unison, it sounds like it's one person singing or doing this chant with a loud, gigantic voice. Okay? He is just stressing the fact that people come together and do the chants together in unison, that it becomes so loud. Okay? Let's move on. And then he says, and then Kelly says, so I will impress a lot of people if it's sort of out of the blue and I stand up and I 대한민국. There she goes. You may have been a bit confused about this sentence, but let's take it little by little. She says, so I will impress a lot of people in a good way. I'll surprise them in a good way if it's sort of out of the blue. Out of the blue means very suddenly, unexpectedly. Okay? So she says, if I just sing the song suddenly, unexpectedly, out of the blue, I stand up and sing 대한민국. I will impress people. They will be pleasantly surprised, right? And then moving on, Peter says, well, you initiated Kelly, and people will be really impressed, for sure. For sure meaning 100%. Initiate is a vocab word. We've gone over this word several times actually, but to initiate means to cause something, okay, to happen, to start, to begin. So he says, you initiate it. You begin the cheer. You start singing, Kelly, and people will be really impressed for sure, 100%. I mean, they do have team songs as well, sung by pop stars and sometimes players. But these are the chants of the people. Okay, we're not talking about celebrities, pop stars, or the team players. We're talking about of the people, meaning the public. This or these are the chants of the public, of the people, he says. And then moving on, Kelly says, yeah, I think that it's kind of nice. It's nice when something comes from a fan, right? When fans do something for you, it's quite nice, she says. And then she also mentions that comes from the heart. Come from the heart in this case. If something comes from your heart, it means that you really, really mean it, okay? You're not doing it because somebody told you to do it. You're not doing it because somebody forces you to do it. You're doing it because you really mean it and you want to do it. And in that case, you can say that something comes from your heart. So let's say, for example, if a friend of yours is going through a tough time, very difficult time, and you say, I'm sorry, and this is coming from my heart, it means that you truly, honestly are very, very sorry. Okay? You're not just saying it just to make him or her feel better, but you truly mean it. That's when you say it comes from the heart. Okay? And then let's move on. Exactly, Peter says. It's really visceral and you feel macho. And he says, or feminine as well at the same time. Visceral is one of our vocab words as well. Visceral basically means that it's related to your deep feelings, your inward feelings, or even intuition, okay? So it's close to your true feelings, I guess, what you feel deep inside, all right? It's not forced, it's not told by someone, but it's what you feel inside. It's like an intuition. It's really visceral and you feel macho. Macho is another word for manly, masculine. And feminine is what? Woman-like. And then Kelly says, well, you've just started something. I don't know if it's good or bad, but what's the point? I'm going to give it a try. Give what a try or give that a try? She's saying that she is going to give those chants a try. Perhaps the next time she has a chance to cheer for the Korean national team or any other team, she's willing to get out there and initiate it by singing 대한민국 very loud in front of people. Okay? And then that about brings us to the end of today's actual talk conversation. We did have a lot of tricky words and new words such as visceral. We'll be going over them in just a bit. But for now, let's take a listen to the conversation one more time.
Kelly, you know that I'm a fervent football fan, right? And I wanted to ask, are you ready to get behind Korea with your chanting, your football chants?
My chants?
Do you know any?
No, I don't actually.
No, okay, here's a quick lesson. This is the most common one that Korean people use, okay? It's very simple as well. It's only got like 5 words in it. 대한민국. You can get that rhythm, right?
Oh, well, I can. 대한민국. What's it mean?
It's basically saying, go on Korea. And it's just what everyone sings in unison.
Okay, shall we
give it a try?
Okay, ready?
대한민국. Yeah, and you just repeat that again and again and again.
That's actually kind of fun. You know what I've noticed? I think I have seen those chants. They start quiet and they get louder. And
everyone
louder,
joins
and
in.
Louder and louder and louder.
And I'm sure it gives the players extra energy.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
How many of those are there?
There's lots, not just here in Korea. But what I've found is that Korean fans are the best organized when it comes to chanting and getting behind their team.
Oh, I believe that.
Like they're all singing. It sounds like it's just one person with a gigantic, deep voice.
So I will impress a lot of people if it's sort of out of the blue and I stand up and I 대한민국.
You initiate it, Kelly, and people will be really impressed for sure. I mean, they do have team songs as well, sung by pop stars and sometimes players, but these are the chants of the people.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of nice when something comes from a fan. Right?
Yeah.
That comes from the heart.
Exactly, and you're really getting behind them. It's really visceral, and you just feel macho and, I don't know, feminine as well at the same time.
Well, you've just started something. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah, we're going to get behind the team.
Here we go with actual expressions, everyone. Are you ready? Okay, then let's start off with fervent. There was a word that I mentioned when I said fervent. It reminds me of the word fever. Fever. What kind of feeling does the word fever give you? I feel warmth, or even the temperature that's hot. So we're talking about that very warm feeling, that warmth or intense passion, spirit, feeling, enthusiasm. So fervent, some synonyms are enthusiastic, passionate, or even heartfelt. This is coming from your heart, deep down, okay? What about rhythm? This one's easy, but just to make sure that you've got the correct pronunciation, it's rhythm. Rhythm, and we're talking about a regular pattern or a repeated pattern or a certain beat. Okay? Moving on to initiate. Initiate means to begin, start, or introduce. But in today's actual talk conversation, we were talking about initiating the official song of the fight song, meaning to begin to sing it. Okay? And what about visceral? I'd like you to practice this word and perhaps use it several times in the future. Visceral, and we're talking about an instinct, something that is deep-rooted or deep-seated. So, to help you understand slightly more about visceral, it's not about what's in your head, okay? Rather than intellect, it's more related to, your heart, what you feel inside. We're talking about your inward feelings, your intuition. So sometimes when your heart tells you to do something or to say something, okay? That's visceral, not when your head says do it, okay? So it has nothing to do with your head or your mind, but it has to do more with your heart, your inner feelings. Let's move on to our patterns then. The first one is get behind somebody or something, which means to encourage it or that person, okay? Here is a sentence. A sentence is, We are all going to get behind the Taeguk Warriors, okay? The Taeguk Warriors, when? During the World Cup games. So we, perhaps it can be you and your family, you and your friends, or you and a whole bunch of people are going to get behind the Taeguk Warriors. It means you are going to be there to cheer them on and to encourage them so they can do better. Our next pattern is in unison. Think of unite, okay? Unite means to gather, come together. In unison means to do something at the same time. So here is a sample sentence. The whole crowd cheered in unison for the national team. The whole crowd, or the Red Devils, cheered in unison for the national team. Or you can say, my friends and I cheered in unison for the Korean national soccer team. It means you cheered together all at the same time. Okay? And moving on to our final one, out of the blue, or even out of a clear blue sky. This is used quite commonly. Some people say it's become quite old now, but it will pop up here and there. Out of the blue, out of the blue, out of a clear blue sky. It means unexpectedly, very suddenly. Okay? Here's a sample sentence. One evening, completely out of the blue, I got a call from her. One more time. One evening, completely out of the blue, I got a call from her. This happens quite often. Let's say, for example, an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend calls you unexpectedly, out of nowhere. You were not expecting him or her to call, but 2 years after you break up, he or she calls you out of the blue. So in that case, you can say unexpectedly, very suddenly. He or she called me out of the blue. One more time. One evening, completely out of the blue, I got a call from her. It means totally unexpectedly. All right, everyone, job well done.